Hey guys, so there's this story about a bird. Gets locked in a cage. The bird can't leave, it's stuck in this cage, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? And then the bird realizes one day, it never thought to actually just try and leave the cage. Like, why don't I just try? So the bird tries. And then, upon doing so, realizes that the cage never had real metal bars in the first place. They were completely constructed by the bird's mind. This is how we are able to completely change our external world by looking at what's going on in our internal world. Because I can assure you that as soon as this bird leaves the cage, the bird is going to explore life. And the circumstances are going to be much more exciting than just looking at the same bars of metal day after day. So in this video, we're going to talk about manifestation because we are constantly manifesting. And if we are unconscious about it, then this is how we end up in situations where we're like, I don't like this and I need to manifest better things. So we need to make unconscious manifestation conscious. This is how we are manifesting constantly. So somebody might be clenching their fists out of anger. This is manifestation. This is outward action. So this is not a simple matter of, oh, my fist is clenched. This is, well, why is this? This is some internal anger. And where is this internal anger coming from? If that gets resolved, then the person wouldn't be clenching their fists. But what we tend to do is simply look at the outward situation and say, oh, I need to unclench my fist. I need to make more money. I need to resolve this outward thing. But the thing is, the fist doesn't clench if we resolve the internal anger to begin with. Even with something as simple as somebody biting their lip. This is likely not a conscious activity. There is probably some sort of internal, unresolved, narrative going on in their head or restlessness or something, and it's manifesting outwardly through this very, small example. So this is how, if we can take care of the internal situation, then we can consciously manifest things that are actually more productive. But, we see this is how people start getting overweight and obese, because these things play out when we are unconscious. These are outward manifestations of unresolved internal roots. So that's the first point here, is we have to understand that manifestation starts from within. Even with this video is an outward manifestation, a creation in the physical world, but it completely started. This video was already created in the internal worlds. Now it's just entering the physical, because this video didn't just spawn in. It started in my imagination, and now it is being crystallized into the physical world. So if we want to manifest, we have to take care of the internal world. We can't be unconscious if we want those things to be positive. Negative things will, this is where we get to the second point about second order consequences. So for example, maybe somebody has some unconscious desires of gluttony. So what they do is they go shopping and they fulfill this desire in the grocery store, and they don't get fruits and vegetables. They just get chips and processed foods. So that's the first action. This happens. What happens then? Well, there's a second order effect with this, where following that, now they are at home and they want to go eat something. And what do they have to eat from? Well, they have their cabinet, which is full of, non-healthy options. So they eat the food. And then the third result of that is that they start feeling mentally cloudy. They start feeling not good about themselves, more insecure. And then what else happens? After that, they have a really important conversation coming up with a colleague at work, and it goes really south, and then that person speaks ill about them, and then maybe this person ends up losing their job. And so this could go off, we could go into so many different directions with this, but when you see the baseline of the unconscious desire being fulfilled, this is how we manifest. When we understand this sort of ripple effect, this chain reaction, then we can see how manifestation is this continuous outward effect. And whatever is inside of ourselves will continue streaming outwardly. It's like we're like a broadcasting station. And if we don't change the internal waves, then we'll continue to broadcast what is inside of us. And this is how this can be something that happens really pleasantly. If this first order consequence is instead something like, I'm gonna eat really healthy food and get healthy things at the grocery store, and then what does that lead to? More mental clarity, and then that leads to better work, and then that leads to better connections, and better connections leads to a more fulfilling life and the things necessary to build inner peace, or whatever it is. But if we don't take care of the first thing, then we're unconsciously going to manifest something. And this happens with so many different things. It doesn't just happen with like food, it happens with every action we take. This is a moment to moment thing. Every action we take has this ripple effect. And this is how the slightest of things can go a long way. And the surest way to take care of it is to resolve the first order, the internal. Because before all of this gets broadcasted, if this is the outward, then all of it gets broadcasted starting from here. And what is here? This is the present moment of your vertical. And the vertical represents your internal. This is the outward process rippling away. And it gets kicked off by your decision in the present moment, which essentially just means self-observation. We can't consciously decide if we aren't aware. We have to know, like, oh, these are, what's going on inside of me? What narratives are playing in my mind? What desires are trying to be expressed outwardly inside of me? This is how we're just like, most of the time, we're just operating through the world with some lust inside of us, trying to like gratify its urges. And we have no idea. And we think we're aware of what's going on. But yet this is precisely how we are unconsciously manifesting. So it requires this awareness so that we can see all of that stuff to begin with. So in this internal world, we have desires, we have emotions, we have thoughts. And by simply being in self-observation, we can see, just no judgment, no extra narratives, none of this, just looking, honesty, and no attachments, to just see what's going on within ourselves. Only then can we consciously act. And when we consciously act, we can create a timeline of ripple effects that is in accordance with our genuine intentions consciously. We have to be the one in charge. We have to take full control and assume when we wake up, everything is our fault. Like everything is due to what we have acted, how we have done. And this doesn't mean we have to beat ourselves up or anything. It just means we have no choice but to look within ourselves and see, like, what am I doing? How am I acting? What am I saying? And what are my feelings? If we're not aware of what's going on inside of ourselves and objectively observing, then we're not taking responsibility. And when we're not taking responsibility, things will play out unconsciously. Our desires will take control and manifest whatever is not addressed inside of us. So remember with second order consequences that there's this ripple effect of outward manifestation. And it's all a byproduct, all an external manifestation of what is going on inside of ourselves. In this way, all of our external circumstances, how I got here recording this video, how you got to where you are watching this video, all of your external circumstances are absolutely a simple product of your own internal world, because that is the only way that you've ended up here. Your inner state led to the external outward ripple effect for you to end up exactly wherever you are. And this means we have to take absolute responsibility. It's kind of like there's two ships navigating the ocean, right? And one ship, the captain is like, I have to make sure that this ship is going in the right direction. When I see waves, I have to make sure I'm correcting my course so that we can follow the guidance and make sure we are safe. There's another captain who's like, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to leave it up to chance. Hopefully, as the ship is sailed, the winds will take care of it and hopefully this will be fine. this captain ends up just getting totally swept away by the ocean and never reaches the destination because it didn't take accountability for where the boat was going. You know, we're in charge of this vessel. We have to, if we want to go to a positive destination in our life and fulfill our own understanding, then we can't let the wind take care of our own understanding. We have to be in charge of this ship, you know. What is going on inside of me? No one else can tap into the awareness that can see what is going on inside other than our own self. So this is the importance of responsibility, and it's truly how we can initiate second order consequences moment to moment by being responsible, being in our own awareness. So moving on to the practices for this video, the first thing is to simply relax the body, because we're manifesting constantly. And if we're doing this unconsciously, we might find that like our shoulders are tense or our eyebrows are like tight or something. If we can start just kind of taking care of our outward situation and just making sure we are relaxed, this will give us a good foundation to make sure we are in a place of stillness to see what's going on internally. It's hard to like objectively be aware of ourselves if we are like tense, you know. We can't go on a mindful walk if we're like scrunching our eyebrows. So yeah, just simply relax the body, and then we can do the next practice, which is a moment to moment thing. It's awareness. It's self-remembering. And there are videos we can watch on this. I will link some self-remembering videos in the description because it's truly a very difficult thing to actually describe. It's just this truly objective awareness, and it's really hard to put that into words, but there are people who are really, really generously trying to share this information on the internet, and I'm going to link that in the description below. I highly recommend. The bottom line is just we want to be conscious, because we can't manifest consciously if we aren't in that awareness in which we see what is going on inside of ourselves. I recommend for this third one to try journaling if you aren't quite used to it, because what we can do with journaling is, in this specific practice that I recommend, if you feel like you're struggling with the unconscious manifestation, what I recommend when it comes to journaling is this. You know, you sit down ready to write, and you really start with the outward sensations. What is going on outwardly? Is one of your legs tense? Are your shoulders a little tight? Describe it. And this is what we do when we journal. We start really outward in this practice. What is going on in my physical sensations? And then as we describe this, we can start going more and more internal, because remember that all of that outward manifestation starts internally. So we're starting with what we know, and then we're moving our way into the questions. How? Why? You know, what am I emotionally feeling that has led to these tensions, or whatever it is? And if you're feeling peaceful, you can even go inside that, you know, what led to this, and just penetrate from the physical into the spiritual like this. So that's the journaling that I recommend for this video, specifically because the first practice is to relax the body and the second practice is to be in the awareness. And so journaling is kind of in this way, can help us move from that physical relaxation into the spiritual union. You know, journaling can really help bridge that gap. So, and if you want more journaling videos, I have some. You can watch this one in the top right, I recommend. So yeah, I hope that this video is helpful, and this is not to beat ourselves up at all. If we're already manifesting, so all we have to do is focus on making the unconscious conscious. So thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.